Before we will start, we must first ask please the Lord. We ask Sir Ma'am Joy, please Sir Ma'am.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us today as we conduct this BB conference. Grant us wisdom, fairness, and integrity in all our discussions and decisions. May this process be transparent, productive, and beneficial to all involved. Guide us to work with professionalism and mutual respect. We ask for your blessings on this undertaking, so everyone participating today. All of this we ask in your name.
Thirdly, please acknowledge the attendance of all the members. Because we are in Toronto. Please go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Request acknowledge the presence of our back members or present for today. Back chairman, Engineer Roel A. Lauder.
Present.
Back regular member, Engineer Olumudi P. Tata.
Present.
Back provisional member, Engineer Muhammad Hussein Omanan.
Present, sir.
Back provisional member, Engineer C.T. Aiskan Hill Ibrahim.
Present, sir.
Sister, there are 4 out of 5 members who are present.
Since 4 out of 5 of the back members are present today, then I declare this scheduled private conference in Toronto. Okay, please acknowledge also the attendance of our back PWG, back secretariat. They are in the observers
For our back secretariat, Berhen, Engineer Libby B. De Casa. Back secretariat member, Sir Donato Filson Jr. Sir Ruben G. Lora.
present, sir.
Kahara E. Ramos.
Present, sir.
Ma'am Marilo Arlas Cute. Lord A. Garcia. Ma'am Lucille Q. Naval. Amy Joy Opastil.
Present, sir.
Ma'am Linis Cintadina. And Engineer C.P. Norpaisang Maulan. Or back PWG. Back PWG head. Ma'am Larica Macy Antonio.
Present.
Back PWG member. Engineer Muhammad Salika Rumpa. Engineer Jamila Itantaw. Engineer Marjan P. Bansara. Engineer C.P. Nuharda R. Macarambon.
Present, sir.
Engineer Mujahidi Dia.
Present, sir.
That's all in the picture.
Observers. Again, good morning everyone and welcome. Especially to Manjam. Manjam, welcome back. I'm back to this scheduled video conference for contract ID 26 km 0055 to 66 km 0062. Okay. No? So this time I'd like to ask Ma'am Ling to please have the sessions for our requirements. Ma'am Ling, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So for the eligibility requirements, Class A documents, legal documents, registration certificate from SEC for corporation, DTI for sole proprietorship or cooperative development authority for cooperatives, valid and current mayor's or business permit from place of business, tax clearance per Executive Order 398 series of 2005 as finally reviewed and approved by the BIR. Technical documents, statements of all ongoing and similar completed government and private contracts, valid pickup license registration, for the type and cost of the contract to bid, construction safety and health program, and statement of single largest completed contract. Must be adjusted to current price using Philippine Statistics Authority Current Price Index. It should have a contract amount equivalent to at least 50% of the ABC. A contract shall be considered similar to the contract to be bid if it has the same major categories of work. Please refer to DEO number 117, series of 2017 revised guidelines for the determination of major and similar categories of work. For financial documents, audited financial statements stamped received by the BIR or its duly accredited and authorized institutions for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the date of bid submission. Tax returns filed and taxes paid through the BIR filing and payment system. Computation of NFCC of at least equal to the ABC computed using the prescribed formula. NFCC is equal to current assets minus current liability multiplied by 15 minus value of unfinished projects including awarded projects not yet started coinciding with the contract to bid. Class B documents for joint venture only, if applicable. Legal document, each partner of the joint venture shall submit their respective field reps certificates of registration in accordance with section 20.2.9.1 of the IRR of RA 12009. The submission of technical and financial eligibility documents by any of the joint venture partners constitute compliance, provided that the partner responsible to submit the NFCC shall likewise submit all of its ongoing and audited financial statements. Submission and receipt of bids. Contents of first envelope, which is the technical proposal, are as follows: PhilJEP certificate and platinum membership, PCAB license and registration in case of joint venture, statements of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. Statement of SLCC, NFCC computation, joint venture agreement if applicable, latest general information sheet, GIS, reflecting the beneficial ownership information duly received by the Securities and Exchange Commission for corporation. Bid security in the prescribed form, amount and validity period, project requirements, organizational chart for the contract to be bid, list of contractors' personnel, list of contractors' major construction and laboratory equipment, with attached certificate of availability. ISO 9001-2015 certification or its latest version as applicable for PCAB size range for large A, large B, medium A, and medium B. Omnibus sworn statement in the form prescribed by RA 12009, 11 items. Submission and receipt of bids. Bid security, bid validity period is 120 calendar days from the date of submission and opening of bids. Bid security validity period is 120 calendar days from the date of submission and opening of bids. Bid securing declaration, Form 1, cash or cashier's or manager's check issued by a universal or commercial bank, minimum amount of 2% of ABC. Form 2, bank draft or guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit issued by a universal or commercial bank, minimum amount of 2% of ABC. Surety bond, callable in demand, issued by a surety or insurance company, duly certified by the Insurance Commission as authorized to issue such security, minimum amount of 5% of ABC. For the contents of the second envelope, the financial proposal, first, financial bid form, it must be in accordance with the prescribed form. Second, duly signed bid prices in the bill of quantities. Third, cash flow by the quarter and payment schedule, and duly signed detailed estimates, including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rentals used in coming up with the bid. For bid evaluation, the financial components of the bids of each past shall be evaluated using non-discretionary criteria, including arithmetical corrections for computational errors, and thus determine the correct total calculated bid prices. The BAC shall automatically disqualify any total calculated bid price which exceeds the ABC. The following factors are to be considered in the evaluation of the bid prices. The mode of evaluating bids will be based on lowest calculated bid. For the completeness, no price in required item means non-complying, indicating a 0 or a dash if it is 3 to the GOP. All prices are deemed to include all taxes. Bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including where applicable BOQ, shall be considered non-responsive. For arithmetical corrections, bid prices in figures versus words, the words will prevail. Total price versus actual sum of component items, the actual sum prevails, and unit cost in detailed estimate versus unit cost in BOQ, the BOQ prevails. If above ABC, means non-complying. For post-qualification, verification of legal requirements, licenses, certificates, permits, and non-inclusion in the blacklist. For the technical requirements, key personnel, minimum work requirements should be satisfied. Availability and commitment of major construction equipment, failure of the prospective bidder to state a complete technical description of the pledged equipment and the specific location, whether owned, leased, or under purchased agreement, shall result in the bidder's automatic post-disqualification for award of contract and forfeiture of its bid security per DEO 58 series of 2012. Recomputation of NFCC based on all ongoing contracts, performance in ongoing government and private contracts, negative slippage of at least 15% in any one project, or negative slippage of at least 10% in each of 2 or more contracts. Failure of the contractor to commence repair work and complete ongoing contracts in the prescribed date after receipt of the notice of defects and deficiencies. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on contracts with pending certificates of acceptance in the prescribed date after the receipt of notice of defects and failures. And last is substandard quality of works or unsatisfactory performance per contract term and conditions at the time of inspection. Please refer to RA 12009 and DO 127 series of 2018 for the strict application of RA 9184 in the conduct of the post-qualification of bidders with delayed ongoing contracts with DPWH. Notes on the personnel and equipment requirements of the projects as per DO number 9 series of 2012, technical requirements for civil works projects for public bidding. If a proposed key technical personnel is an employee of the bidder and working on another project at the same time of bidding, the bidder shall submit a certification that first, the personnel will be pulled out from the ongoing project once the bidder is awarded a contract, and second, he or she will be replaced with another person with equal or better qualifications as certified by the head of the implementing office. The bidder may propose a key technical personnel who is not an employee, provided that the said personnel is required to submit a certification that he or she will work for the bidder if it is awarded the contract under bidding. As per DEO number 165, series of 2025, guidelines on the accreditation and assignment of contractors and consultants, project engineers, it states that only accredited project engineers may be assigned to DPWH projects. These certifications shall be included in the first envelope of the sealed bid. Also to be verified during post-qualification is the said equipment pledged by the bidder. The bidder should specify in the submitted bid the location of the equipment where they can be inspected. If any equipment is not in the specified location, then the bidder shall be post-disqualified. For contract award, the contract shall be awarded to the bidder whose bid has been determined to be the lowest calculated and responsive bid as a result of the detailed evaluation and post-qualification conducted. The successful bidder shall be notified through the issuance of notice of award within the bid validity period and must be confirmed by the successful bidder in writing within 2 days upon receipt thereof. Common errors in the submission of bids, incomplete pages of bid documents, both in technical and financial, authority of the signatory to sign on behalf of the bidder. First, for single proprietor, signatory should be the owner or proprietor only. Second, for corporation or cooperative, board secretary certificate and board resolution. Third, for joint venture resolution or agreement. And fourth is for partnership, as indicated in the articles of partnership. Reminders: the deadline of submission of bids will be on June 25, 2026 at 10 a.m. Bid submission may be done manually or electronically or online. However, bidders should only select one mode of submission, either manual or electronic. Philippine bidding documents, new bid form, omnibus sworn statement, and bid securing declaration. Note: follow the latest NGPA standard forms as uploaded in the gppb.gov.ph. Number of copies of bid proposal: 1 original copy and 2 certified true copies of its bid using A4 size bond paper and sidebound. If the deadline falls on a non-working day, legal holiday, or a special non-working holiday, the deadline shall be the next working day unless otherwise stated in the bid bulletin, if any. The place of submission of bids will be at DPWH Iligan City DEO, specifically in the conference room. Contractors must observe in the bidding documents the following: pagination, side tabbing, and labeled according to checklist, table of contents that will harmonize the pagination and side tabbing, and compliance with the attached checklist. All prospective bidders are strictly obligated to fully and truthfully disclose all ongoing and awarded but not yet started contracts, DPWH, other government and private contracts, by submitting the duly accomplished statement. Failure to submit or declare relevant contracts constitutes a direct ground for disqualification and imposition of appropriate sanctions. All prospective bidders are encouraged to conduct a site inspection and take geotag photos together with planning and design personnel. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Ling. Any questions or corrections, board members? Ling, let me go back with the post qualification. Post qualification slide. Uh, uh, third na bullet, the computation of MFCC based on all ongoing. So, this is, sumpay niya po tayo dito like, ganyan. Based on all ongoing, awarded contract at this time. Okay. Hindi na later na lang siguro. Then, atong sa ito, no? Sa pang-guarantee with security o sa with security. Sa with security, please check also number 2, guarantee. Because according to BB, sa 12009, 75% of the business. But check lang ha. Okay. Yes. Okay, any other? Any other clarification questions? Done. Lunch there. Okay, thank you. If none, then we will proceed with the presentation of projects. Present. Wala rin ka tayo. Ano si Manan? Okay. So, Ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Proceed.
So these are the project. From 26 km 0055 to 26 km 0062. For 26 km 0055, the construction of missing links or new roads along Iligan City, Cagayan de Oro City alternate road, the Kilaan to Bulua section, K9 plus 500 to K10 plus 728 Iligan City. So this is the project location. This is the beginning of the project and the end of the project. Project description, it is a construction of road with 2.456 lane kilometer with a duration of 274 calendar days. Provision of field office for the engineer rental basis, OSH program, traffic management, removal and relocation of utilities, earthworks, sub-base and base course works, surface course works, drainage and slope protection structures, seedlings or saplings for other programs or incentives. So these are the scope of works. So this is the minimum equipment requirement for the project. With an approved budget for the contract, 41,623,540 pesos. For the second project, it is 26 km 0056. Construction of missing links or new roads along Iligan City, Cagayan de Oro City alternate road, Pikilaan to Bulua section, K12 plus 400 to K13 plus 800 Iligan City. So this is the location map. 58 line. Delivered it. I have something, 60. No, 58. Oh. Is it working? Ayun, so, ang 55. Ito na, ang sarang. Kami, 61. Oh. No. Oh, 68, sa kasi.
58.
Ah,
Itong delete mo na
69, kumulok na. Ang 60, ang 61, 39. Tapos na lang.
Copy-paste na naman sa mga
Nasa 57.
na nasa next week. Nasa
Then, father day, tulog na yun. Ah, 9.
60.
Ako, 9. Plus 9. Is, ba't nga din? Effective change na. Wala
Change
na
ang kung ano,
Kasi sa ganda.
mga numbers na lang. Contact ID 1, change this for pero arrange namin siya.
I didn't. Look same. Teka lang ako ni Pito.
Ang 62 kay
Paano?
Ipano.
Social media, personal media,
Okay. Ano na lang itong title ko maumas na.
Tignan lang ako.
Change na lang sa mas kung ba hindi na alis sa mundo.
Ano kay?
57.
61, no? Nine, diba?
Slides. Ang title na.
Change na lang mga numbers.
Ang number lang ay change, no? Dahil, ang kaning tipanoy?
Paano 64? Ang barangay after 57.
Hmm.
Then
Delivered.
the center kay 50. Saray is 59. Ang Santa Fe 60.
Hindi na siya rearrange.
Oh. Arrange mo pa.
Rearrange pa?
Arrange mo sa
By 100. Ayun. Ito na patati ko. Saan ang siya? Patati ko. Sa 57 na start. 56 na ako. Pero naman itong 56.
Okay, please. Okay lang. Okay, please go ahead. So, try to check na lang ang pa. Hindi mo pa iba. Okay.
Mr. Chair.
That's it.
Okay, for the second project, 26KN 0056, construction of missing links or new roads along Iligan City, Cagayan de Oro City alternate road. Dikilaan to Bulga section, K12 plus 400 to K13 plus 800 Iligan City. This is the location map of the project. This is the geotag photo of the beginning station. And this is the end station. The project description is construction of road with 2.8 lane kilometer with a duration of 306 calendar days. provision of field office for the engineer, OSH program, traffic management, removal and relocation of utilities, earthworks, sub-base and base courseworks, surface courseworks, drainage and slope protection structures, and seedlings or saplings for other programs or incentives. These are the following scope of works. These are the minimum equipment requirement for the project. With an approved budget for the contract, 55,804,985 pesos. For the third project, 26 km 0061, construction of road at Purok 9, Barangay Upper Hinaplanon, Station 0+00 to Station 0+200 Iligan City. This is the location map. This is the beginning of the project and the end of the project. These are the scope of works. These are the minimum equipment requirement. With an approved budget for the contract, 4,624,620 pesos. For the fourth project, 26 km 0062, construction of road, Barangay Tipanoy, Station 0+000 to 0+500 Iligan City. This is the location map. This is the beginning of the project and the end of the project. With the project description of construction of road, with the 1 lane kilometer with a duration of 130 calendar days, provision of field office for the engineer rental basis,
61.
OSH program,
Check down the calendar days. Check it out.
Barangay Tipanoy.
90.
Yeah, that's- Construction of road, Barangay Tipanoy. Okay, I repeat for the project description. Construction of road with 1 lane kilometer with a duration of 130 calendar days. Provision of field office for the engineer rental basis. OSH program, earthworks, sub-base and base courseworks, surface courseworks, and drainage and slope protection structures. So these are the scope of works. These are the minimum equipment requirement. With an approved budget for the contract, 11,099,480 pesos. For the fifth project, 26 km 0057, construction of road, Barangay Upper Hinaplanon, Station 0+000 to Station 0+200, Iligan City, Lanao del Norte. This is the location map. The beginning of the station and end of the project. For the project description, this is a construction of road with 0.4 lane kilometer with a duration of 48 calendar days. Provision of field office for the engineer rental basis, OSH program, traffic management, earthworks, sub-base and base courseworks, surface courseworks, and single-arm solar LED roadway lighting. These are the scope of works. And these are the minimum equipment requirement. With an approved budget for the contract, 4,671,810 pesos. For 26 km 0058, construction, completion of multi-purpose building, Barangay Center, Barangay Villaverde, Iligan City, Lanao del Norte. This is the location map. The geotag photos. For the project description, it is a construction or completion of multi-purpose building for the Barangay Center with a duration of 118 calendar days. Provision of field office for the engineer rental basis, permits and clearances, OSH program, removal of structures and obstruction, plain and reinforced concrete works, finishing and other civil works, electrical works, and mechanical works. These are the scope of works. These are the minimum equipment requirements. With an approved budget for the contract, 2,969,110 pesos. For 26 km 0059, construction of multi-purpose building, Barangay Saray, Iligan City, Lanao del Norte. So this is the location map. These are the geotag photos. This is the perspective view. For the project description, it is a construction of multi-purpose building with a duration of 176 calendar days. Provision of field office for the engineer rental basis. Permits and clearances, OSH program, earthworks, plain and reinforced concrete works, finishing and other civil works, electrical works. So these are the scope of works. These are the minimum equipment requirement. With an approved budget for the contract, 4,950,000 pesos. For 26 km 0060, construction of multi-purpose building, Purok Talisay, Barangay Santa Filomena, Iligan City, Lanao del Norte. So this is the location map. Here are the geotag photos. This is the perspective view. For the project description, construction of multi-purpose building with a duration of 176 calendar days, provision of field office for the engineer, permits and clearances, OSH program, earthworks, plain and reinforced concrete works, finishing and other civil works, and electrical works. These are the scope of works. And these are the minimum equipment requirement. With an approved budget for the contract, 4,950,000 pesos. Please be reminded, please be advised to watch out for possible bid bulletin. Thank you. That would be all, Mr. Chair.
City. Any questions? Questions? Can we go back to it, no? Minimum equipment requirement for
Balik.
Wala. Wala.
Completion,
Ah,
completion.
conclusion.
Oo nga, sa one.
58.
Fifty-seven.
How about 57 now? Before ano? Tomorrow, zero.
Ano, sir?
Minimum frequent requirements. Logos. Planning, manan, some minimum frequent requirements. Namutang na to itong apparatus based on DEO level. Ito ang requirement. So don't forget. Tapos part dito siya. DEO level is ang apparatus should be inserted sa minimum frequent requirement lang. No? So other dapat sa POW pa lang. Sa ngayon, iba tayo siya. Like, sample, kami sa SACO, especially sa roads that are official sa natin. But still, it is a requirement that it is still a minimum equipment requirement. No? Like, sample work itong sa last, sa building. Sa building, tayo may sample. Big halas. So, ito sa last. Diba? Number 10, material testing equipment. Material testing equipment based on the 11 para ma-provide dito na. May other requirement of POW or that program for na i-inform ang mga programmers para makapagpapit okay. So other questions or corrections? If none, then again, contractors, please always check our website or intelligence if there is any possible difficulties, no? Na mga notices. And okay, of course, fully and fully disclose all ongoing and awarded but not yet started contracts. Failure to submit and declare any ongoing and unawarded but not yet started contract constitutes a ground for disqualification and imposition of appropriate sanctions. Okay, please be reminded. So, other reminders, back, converse? None?
None.
None, then who wants to move for the adjournment of this public conference?
Move for the adjournment of the field conference, Mr. Chair.
Was, okay, it's been moved by Germanan and seconded by Engineer Ibrahim. Then I declare this further conference adjourned. So thank you everyone for your attendance. Thank you, Joy.
Thank you, sir.